Thank you. Well done. Hi guys, this is Simran and today I'm going to make a dish called Gobi Musallam, which is a very popular dish among the Mughal royal families and which is actually made with the cauliflowers. These are the beautiful florets which I picked up this morning, and you need to have these very condensed florets when you're making this dish. And this is a dish which I actually learned from my mom-in-law. She used to make it with the small cauliflowers, but it's your own preference if you want to make it with the bigger cauliflowers. But this is how I like it, so I'm going to show you how to make it. To start with, let me introduce you to some of the spices which we're going to use in this dish. This is cumin. These are the whole spices, some bay leaves, some cinnamon stick and some green cardamom, red chili powder, coriander powder. This is a special ingredient which is called the kasuri methi, and some turmeric, garam masala, raw cashews, salt, sugar, tomato puree which I blended, and this is some yogurt, and of course the fresh cream which we're going to use. And for the base of the gravy we are going to use the onions, garlic, ginger and a piece of green chili. Okay, so to start with I'm going to show you what you have to do with the cauliflowers. Take the cauliflower and just remove these bits from the sides which are the leaves. And I have to tell you, like, people when they make some other dish from the cauliflower, they generally cut it from the top. But I have to give you one tip, like you have to cut the florets always from the back side of the cauliflower, not from the front, okay? Just to have the nice florets. To blanch these cauliflowers, we're going to take the pot full of water, and I'm going to add a little bit of the turmeric and some salt. Turmeric we add just to give color to the cauliflowers. Just immerse them inside. Now I'm going to cover it and let it blanch for about 5-6 minutes. While the cauliflowers are being blanched, let's make the puree of this one. I'm going to cut some ginger into small pieces because we have to blend it together. These are about 2.5-inch piece of the ginger and some garlic. You can bruise them a little. I'm going to chop the chilies. Now we're going to blend everything together, but except the chilies. We'll add these later. Now this is the consistency which we are looking for. We don't want to make it like a puree because if you have too much water in the onion, it's going to be difficult for you to roast it. These have been blanched nicely. Okay, you have to remove it from the water and make sure they are not overcooked, because if they are overcooked, your cauliflower is going to break when you're making the presentation of the dish. So it should be parboiled. With the slotted spoon you can just remove all the cauliflowers. I'm going to drain it on the paper. Now I'm going to lightly fry these cauliflowers and make sure like there is no excess water, otherwise it's going to splat the whole oil. I actually don't like the raw flavor of the water in the cauliflower. That's the reason I lightly give a little toss in the oil just to bring out a little color. It's a beautiful centerpiece dish when you have your guests over, and I'm sure your guests are going to love it. Now these are nice and golden, so I'm going to remove it. I'm actually going to make the gravy, and for that I'm going to use the same oil which we used for frying the cauliflower. It has some beautiful flavor from the fried cauliflower. Infuse the whole spices. Just take few cardamom pods. These give nice flavor to the, because it's a rich dish, so we need to bring out some flavors with these whole spices. And I'm going to add some jeera, the cumin, I'm going to add these onions, And I'm going to add the chilies as well. While these onions are getting roasted, I'm going to make some paste with the cashew nuts. Add little water and give a quick blend and make a smooth paste out of the cashew nuts. You can actually smell all those spices which have been nicely infused, and now you can look at the color of the onions. This is what we are looking for, some golden brown onions. And I'm going to add some spices to this one, some red chili powder, and we've already added the green chili, so you have to look at how much heat do you want in your dish, and some coriander powder. I'm going to reduce the flame. I don't want my spices to burn. Some garam masala, turmeric powder, and some salt. Just stir all the spices. Now all the spices have been roasted nicely inside, and I'm going to add these tomatoes which are pureed. These are freshly blanched tomatoes. I like to add a touch of store-bought tomato paste as well, which gives the vibrancy and a nice rich color to the dish. You have to cook these tomatoes down until all the water is evaporated and you can see the oil separated from the sides. This is one of our family favorites, and whenever we have family get-togethers or dinners, I really like to serve this dish. Now these tomatoes have collapsed nicely and shrunk down, you can see, and all the water has evaporated. And at this stage I'm going to add the yogurt. Before we add the yogurt, you need to give it a quick stir with the whisk, because we don't want any lumps coming in that. I'm going to add the yogurt. You have to cook the yogurt in the tomato gravy until it's nice, rich and thick. Oh, look at this, beautiful. I feel like eating it right now. I wish you could smell it. Okay. Just add a touch of water and clean the bowl. Oh, look at this rich gravy. Now you can see actually the oil which is separated from the tomatoes. This is actually the good sign of a nice gravy. Now because we have added so much of tomatoes and the yogurt and there's a lot of tartness in the dish, just to balance it out, we like to add a little bit of the sugar, just a touch of it. You can always taste and adjust the seasoning. Now I'm going to add the cashew nut paste to this. Add little water. Now this gives the richness to the dish because we have added some cashews, and it actually combines the whole masala together of the onions, the garlic, the ginger, the tomato. So it becomes like a thick gravy, and it's quite creamy in consistency, as you can see that. I'm going to add this beautiful spice which is called kasuri methi. It's the dried fenugreek, and I'm going to put it in my palms and crush it together. This gives the nice aroma to the dish. I wish you could smell this. Oh, I feel like eating it right now. To this I'm going to add some water. Let it come to a boil. I'm going to taste this a little. Okay, it needs some sugar. And some salt. It's actually very important to taste your dish before you put your cauliflowers in, just for the balance of the flavors. I'll add this cream a little bit for the touch of the creaminess to the dish, and give it a quick stir. You don't have to boil the cream because we don't want that to get separated. And now I'll add a little bit more water. I'm going to add these cauliflowers. Gently just pick them up and place it in the gravy. Cover these florets with the gravy a little bit. Just a tiny bit of the gravy on the top so that it's like going inside the cavities of the cauliflowers. Cover it with the lid and reduce the flame and let it sit for 5 minutes. Now we are ready to serve the dish. Oh, it looks gorgeous. We'll take a beautiful platter. I actually like to present it in an open platter because that gives a nice centerpiece to the table when you're presenting it to your family and friends or the special guests. Okay, gently, you just need to, okay, I'll bring it closer to the dish. I don't want anything seeping out. Okay. You can remove all those spices which you have infused earlier. You don't have to put it in the platter. You gently just lift it up and then you place it in the dish. I'm going to drizzle this whole gravy on the top of all the florets. Oh, look at this. Now I'm going to finish the dish with a little touch of the cream on the top, just to break down the color and a nice presentation. That looks nice. And just a little touch of the green coriander, which is a must for any Indian dish. Yeah, that looks nice. Now this dish is ready and I'm going to show you how it looks from inside. Okay, I'll bring it over here and oh, look at this one. Oh, looks beautiful from inside, isn't it? Nicely cooked. Now it's ready. I'm going to taste the dish. Oh, it looks glorious and decadent. Yummy. If you like this video as much as I love cooking this dish, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel below, share it with all your friends and family, and keep watching and keep cooking. Bye bye. I like to add a store. In this, I'm going to add some cashew paste which we made earlier.